You wake up to silence that feels wrong. The alarm clock is dead. The fan is still. Your phone is black. You press the button again and again until you realize it is not the phone. It is everything. The light switch does nothing. The refrigerator hum is gone. The hum of the world is gone. You step outside and the air feels thick like before a storm, but there is no wind, only stillness. Every car on the street has stopped. Drivers stand with doors open, looking at dashboards like they forgot how to start engines. Someone says it is the power grid down again. Someone else says it is the end. You do not know yet, but you are already inside the first minute of an electromagnetic pulse strike. The second minute begins with confusion. You try your car, nothing. You walk to the end of the block and see people standing with dead phones like mourners, holding tiny black mirrors. A woman knocks on a neighbor's door, asking if their power is out. A man screams from a balcony, asking if anyone's radio works. Then you hear the faintest sound, like a faraway explosion, but without echo, just a vibration under your skin. Birds scatter. A cloud of dust rises miles away. Then nothing again. No internet, no radio, no television, no signal. Just silence so thick it makes your ears ring. By the third minute, panic replaces logic. Someone runs shouting it was a nuke, it was the sun, it was an attack. People grab their kids and cars and realize none of them will move. The sound of frustration fills the air like static. Someone kicks a vending machine. Someone else starts crying. You try to call your family, but your phone is dead. You shout their names into the street. There is no answer, only the creak of a power line cooling in the morning air. The first hour stretches like a whole day. You walk to the supermarket, thinking they will have answers, but the doors are locked and the lights are out. Cash registers, dead. Card readers, dead. A manager stands in the doorway sweating, explaining nothing works. Even the lock on the storage freezer has fused. The smell of thawing meat starts to drift through the aisles. You see people grab whatever they can carry, because law has not yet caught up with chaos. At home, the water still runs, but weaker. You fill every bottle you have, every pot, every pan. You do not know when it will stop, but it will. You look at your fridge and realize the cold will not last. You cook what you can on a gas stove while the pressure holds. You eat in silence, as if the meal might explain something. Outside, you hear sirens once, then they die mid-howl. Night falls early. The stars are too bright without city light. It would be beautiful if it did not feel like a funeral. You light candles. You try to find a radio that runs on batteries. It hisses static, and then a broken voice says something about a massive failure, something about a possible electromagnetic event, something about staying indoors and waiting for further instructions. Then the voice dies too. You sit in the dark and realize you do not know how long food lasts without power, or how long humans last without order. Day 2 brings hunger and noise. Not electronic noise, but human noise. Arguments, fear, doors slamming. A generator coughs to life 3 blocks away and then stops. People bang on it, demanding fuel. Someone starts a fire in a metal bin to cook. The air smells like burning plastic. You ration water. You check your watch. The hands still move. It feels ancient and reliable. You begin to understand time again. By day 3, the water stops. The toilets do not flush. The smell begins to rise. The grocery store has been emptied. The pharmacy shelves picked clean. People begin to trade batteries for food, cigarettes for candles, medicine for water. A man on the corner sells warm bottles of soda for a flashlight. You hear a gunshot somewhere far away, then another. Dogs bark for hours. No one goes to see why. By day 4, you start to change. You move slower. You speak less. You save energy like it is currency. You sleep in short bursts because every creak could be someone trying to break in. You begin to understand that the world ended quietly, not with fire, but with silence. You begin to think in lists. What you have, what you need, what you can live without. You wrap food in foil to keep rats away. You count matches. You scrape candle wax to stretch it longer. By day 5, people organize. A neighbor knocks, saying there is a meeting at the park. You go. A small crowd stands in a circle. Someone has a battery radio that barely works. They play a recording from an emergency broadcast saying power restoration could take weeks, maybe months. You watch faces collapse under the weight of that sentence. Someone mentions boiling rainwater. Someone else mentions disease. You write the ideas down on paper because memory feels fragile. The end of the first week, the city smells of decay. Food rots in dumpsters. Trash piles block alleys. A silence settles again because people have stopped shouting. They are tired. Some leave on foot, heading for rural areas, hoping farms still work. You stay because you do not know where to go. You climb to the roof and see the skyline black like a photograph of the past. In the distance, fires mark where hope burned too bright. In the second week, you stop missing technology. You miss voices. You miss music. You miss the sound of running water. You find an old cassette player that runs on batteries and listen to static because even noise is comfort. You start to know your neighbors by name. You share food and stories and watch the stars. You realize that survival is not about strength. It is about calm, about slowing your heartbeat, about finding rhythm in chaos. By the third week, news filters in through a hand-cranked radio. The voice says the cause was confirmed. A high-altitude detonation far above the atmosphere, likely an EMP. No fallout detected. No follow-up strikes reported. Repairs underway, but slow. You sit listening to the voice crackle through static and realize how fragile it sounds, how human. Months pass like this. Civilization limps. Old vehicles are rewired. Markets reopen using cash and barter. Cities learn to live small again. You never forget the sound of that first silence, or how it changed everything you believed about control. You learned that power was never the plug in the wall. It was the connection between people, the willingness to help, the discipline to stay calm. So what does this mean for you? It means everything that keeps you safe is smaller than you think. A jug of water, a candle, a paper map, a notebook. It means knowledge beats panic and preparation beats denial. The world might go dark again one day, but if you remember what matters, you will not. This is Safety Zone Analysis. We do not sell fear. We tell the truth. Because survival does not start when disaster hits. It starts right now in what you choose to learn and what you choose to keep ready. The grid might fall, the light might fade, but the will to endure is older than any technology. Share this with someone who still believes the power will always come back, because one day it will not. And when that day comes, your greatest weapon will be calm.